preparing. The meeting is being live streamed right now. Hello, everybody, or at least hello, Ross.
Well, it says we're live, so we should be live streaming now.
All right. I think I'm not in love with this background, so I want to blurry.
It says like background. Arthro Living in the background, a little logo in the top right corner.
This is a
Anthro, maybe.
It's anthropology. I got a background from anthropology.
Nice.
So let me change it. I mean, my wife likes stuff from anthropology. I figured we'd like to live in a place.
It's kind of cool looking, though. I mean, a little retro-ish. So just to for those of you that are present, thank you. And this is not one of our majorly interactive lives. However, we will do our best to keep an eye on comments and that kind of fun stuff. So what we are doing here is we are making some announcements because we're making some fairly drastic changes to how we interact with Facebook. So we will be going over some of the things that we're going to be doing so you can follow those things and hopefully attend things like the now weekly live we're going to be doing on Tuesday mornings. Well, Tuesday mornings Eastern time. It's your afternoon, isn't it, Harris?
It is my evening, my early evening, late afternoon, depending on what you want to say. You know, I was just thinking of this. So why don't we also be super transparent with people? I mean, not that we wouldn't be anyway, but sure. even raising that to another level and talk about the idea that why we're doing this is that what we're learning from the marketplace. So look, TrafficForMe is a traffic company. We specifically sell email traffic, mostly solo ads, what people call solo ads, mostly to the business opportunity niche, but we also have clients in health, survival, personal development, Forex, investment, not Forex as much as crypto, honestly, nowadays.
Health, weight loss.
But as it turns out, Ross and I know a lot about traffic, other than just that type of traffic. We may not talk about a lot of that here. We have started an agency separate from this that we'll talk about it there probably. But what I was about to say is so Ross, I don't know if he's there or he's there for me. I don't know where he is for everybody else, but
it shows currently I am above your head. You are below me. So yeah, there we go.
Does this hurt?
No, I'm good.
All right. He's not going to play along. I'm the comedian of the group. Okay.
That is true.
Yeah. So anyway, Ross does Facebook ads for us, and the Facebook ads are doing fine. However, oh, I'm hearing myself.
Not anymore. It's fixed. We're good.
Okay. Sorry, I've got ADD, and so does Ross. So
yes.
You can understand. So we have learned from the marketplace, talking to other people, testing this with other companies, that when you are running Facebook ads, it's beneficial to have some content on your Facebook page as well. And I should say some engaging content. So if nobody's watching this or nobody ever watches this, then this ain't engaging. But if people watch and people comment below, then that tells Facebook, hey, these guys can get people to spend some time on Facebook. So I'm going to show this live stream to more people. And more importantly, when they spend money on our ads, I'm going to know what types of people to target. And I know that they get more people to spend more time with us. So maybe that'll be the case with the ads that they put out as well. So it's kind of come to, and especially with all the changes with iOS 14, with Apple's iOS 14, where it's become much more difficult for Facebook to connect the dots from every platform like they used to be able to, which is something that
sure.
Is a privacy issue that people have trouble with. But from the advertising side, which is what we're talking about, that means that Facebook is now stuck in their own silo,
bubble.
which is Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, which is huge as well. They can get data from that, and they know, oh, this person is in this place or talking about this thing sometimes. I think that's kind of happening. But anyway, the point is that we want to create more content regularly. This is one thing that we're going to do starting right now, is a weekly Facebook Live, and see how it goes, try to give you guys good content, and which we just did, by the way, if you're listening. The fact that we're doing this and why we're doing it is good content.
Well, and the goal is to help you, and then you help us by interacting with the stuff we put up. That's truly as simple as it is.
Right.
And then when you interact with the stuff that we put up, it will make our ads perform better, because we will be feeding Facebook better data, and then Facebook will be treating us as valued advertisers instead of people who just throw money at their system to get some traffic. So
yeah, value advertiser versus commodity advertiser from their standpoint. So.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. So yes, and so we're going to be sharing cool stuff, and we'll be testing a bunch of different things. Yeah, you failed. I didn't feel it. I am mostly numb anyway. So we're going to put up some fancy graphics and some quick videos, and we'll see what you guys like, and then whatever you guys respond to, we'll share more often. So
and
please.
we'll talk about it on these, Facebook Lives. We'll actually talk. Yeah. There's not going to be much to talk about now in regards to that, but in a month from now, we're going to say, hey, we did this and we did this, we did this. Doesn't mean that's going to work for you, but we want you to see what our thought process is, which is, some content out there, and seeing what sticks, as Ross said, and then expanding on what sticks. And you'll be able to see that happening on our Facebook page as we go. But more importantly, like on these lives, in a month or so from now, we'll put that stuff together and we're doing. So what we thought we'd talk about today, we didn't really have anything ready, to be honest with you. We've been talking about getting started for a couple of weeks, and Ross and I do a weekly call for marketing for TrafficForMe. And I was like, well, why don't we just commit to just doing it after the call, and let's start right now. And he's like, okay, just let's have a topic. And I said, okay, I did a TED Talk yesterday. So let's talk about that.
So let's lead into this. So where's the value? So for you guys in your businesses, where's the value in doing a TED Talk? So there's a bunch of things that happens when you do cool stuff that is media. And what that does is it gives you free exposure.
Ross's son just got home and said, hi, Grandma.
Yeah.
Welcome to working from home.
Welcome to summer. I have 3 more days of half days, and then my son will be home every day. Thankfully, he has a job at Publix, so he will actually go away sometimes. Anyway,
wait, I have to know, since I used to live in Florida, is Publix still where shopping is a pleasure, or do they have a new motto now?
I don't know what the motto is. Let me pull up the app. Let me look. This is important enough.
It used to be where shopping is a pleasure. That's how it's ingrained in my memory.
I don't think it's changed. And
also, when I worked there, we called it Pubics. So be sure to tell your son that.
I am not telling my son that part at all.
Where shopping is a pleasure.
Yeah, they're not really focused on that. I'm not seeing it anywhere when I pop open their app at all. I just popped open their delivery app to see if there's anything there.
It's like Publix, where you might be able to find baby formula if you're lucky.
Yeah, that's kind of it. And to be honest, Publix charges more than everywhere else.
Yep.
Prices are higher there. However, the quality of we buy meat and produce there sometimes if we have to stay local. So anyway, we actually had an organic grocery store pop up a mile from our house not long ago. It's only been open for a couple of months, so it's really nice. We used to drive nearly an hour to go to Whole Foods on the east side of Fort Myers. So now to have a place a mile from home that is not quite Whole Foods, but really close. So anyway, we were talking about media. Yeah, I reeled it in. We were talking about media exposure and the kind of thing that it can do for your business. So if you have something that is viable enough to get on a TED Talk or to get onto your local news, when you actually have something that can assist companies near you. So for us, our business, T4Me, is not viable for, the local news, not at all. But the TED Talk the authority boost for Harris himself. I mean, that's huge, absolutely huge.
So it's actually, and I did it in a way that's a double boost because as some of you may or may not know, I've started becoming a magician. I've been training at Hogwarts for the last 3 years. And it's my hair is gone. Oh, it was already gone. But I am pursuing that professionally on the side. So it benefits me to do a TED Talk if I mix a little bit of magic in, which I did. I'll tell you about that in a second, because now I can use the video for corporate to say, oh wow, this guy has done a TED Talk. He must be a great magician, or he speaks our language, right? And then on the T4Me side of it, or on the marketing side of it, I actually ended up talking more about personal development, the magic of positive thinking, which obviously intertwines with our success as an online business and my personal success, which and I even talk in the shit. Maybe I don't want these to watch it. I talk a lot about some of the downs that I had, and even within the times that I don't know if a lot of people knew that. People probably didn't know that I had a huge mansion that I did a retreat in, an internet marketing retreat in. People don't know that I was house poor when I was doing that. This was years ago, and
I was there.
I'll never be house poor again, of course. Anyway, the pandemic certainly, or the end of the pandemic certainly shuffled things around a bit for me. But anyway, we're not talking about that right now. So the TED Talk is about the magic of positive thinking, and I do some magic tricks along with it. One really powerful magic trick showing having the audience think of a card, like really open thought of a card, and then I opened a box of cards, and the card that they were thinking of, the audience imagined with their positive thoughts that it turned around. So a thought became a thing. And then, during the TED Talk, I talked about my story, how I used personal development to magically, get everything from a dream board, move to Costa Rica, move to Barcelona. And but then I say, the thing is that it's a magic trick, just like a magic trick. There was a lot of work that went on behind the scenes that I don't talk about, that I didn't talk about in that speech, and that I don't that the Tony Robbins of the world generally. Actually, Tony is a bad example of somebody that says positive thoughts become things. I think in all fairness, he talks about the front to end, but there's a lot of gurus out there, the people from The Secret, for instance, law of attraction folks, that really talk about specifically like just not meditate, but visualize, manifest, raise your vibration, and the stuff will just magically come to you. The opportunities are always coming to you, and having that focus allows you to pick and choose the opportunities that match what you want. Anyway, I did not realize that when I said, let's talk about a TED Talk, you were thinking, how can a TED Talk benefit the people listening? I think that's a great angle. I think that's a great angle. Of course, it gives me some authority. When you see my name with a TED Talk, but I guess I could tell people, I guess it'd be helpful to tell people how that came about. It was pretty simple. I visualized it for years. I manifested it, and someone came and knocked on my door and asked me to do a TED Talk. That was it. No. We're in an international school here in Barcelona, and the school, one of the kids at the school, high schoolers, in the debate team, thought it'd be cool to have a TED Talk at the school. Like, how could we do this for real, not just let's have a bunch of speeches. So, and quite frankly, I wouldn't have showed up for let's do a bunch of speeches with American School of Barcelona in the background. There's no authority in that. But they applied for the license. Hundreds of schools, international schools in Europe, apply for the license. Only 2 of them got it. Our school was one of them. And they put a message out who would like to be on it. And if I'm honest, I didn't say yes at first. I've been pretty wonky up until a couple of months ago, thanks to the power of positive thinking. Now I'm better. But I didn't know what I was going to talk about or anything a couple of months ago. So I didn't say yes right away. But about 6 weeks ago, I was like, okay, I'll do it. Here's my idea. And it was a mix of magic and talking about magic trick with positive thinking. And they jumped on it because, all the other TED Talks, there was 9 total. All of the other ones were very static, not as interactive as, having some magic in there. And, they figured it'd be more entertaining. And yeah, and it was cool. So what benefits can I hope to get from that?
Well, TED is not specifically a traffic driver in my experience, unless we build a path from your name to our stuff, which we could totally do. But the credibility boost, not that we really need much more of that, but every little bit counts. I do feel that you or I are really at a stage in our businesses, even with the new ones that we're dealing with, where with 15 years of doing something that's been around for 15 to 20 years, I think we already come with a boatload of credibility. But doing a TED Talk is pretty huge. I mean, as far as authority goes, I don't know that there's much better than that. It used to be like becoming a best-selling author, but now on Amazon, I personally did that selling 12 books. I just chose the right category.
We have a comedian friend here. They did it but they were a bestseller for 1 hour. I mean,
sure,
that was kind of silly. So, but he says I'm a best-selling author now on Amazon, and just as a kind of as a goof though, in his case. Yeah, interesting. How many other internet marketers have done TED Talks? I'm sure a few, but not very many.
I'd say max 3 or 4 from the people that we know. And I believe on
you said that you and I don't necessarily need the credibility boost, but quite frankly, I spent the last 8 or 9 years, or I guess almost 10 years with TrafficForMe, not really having my name on it. I mean, people know it's me once they get in, but I don't use my credibility. I wanted to have something, and I still do. I still want TrafficForMe to be its own brand. I want the new agencies to be their own brand, which are, I might as well say it since I brought it up, but createdemand.io for crypto clients and nocaptraffic.com for non-crypto clients. This is not TrafficForMe.
Totally separate thing we're not going into. He just is mentioning them.
Yeah. But check it out if you want more traffic. Okay. Anyway, or ask me questions privately if you want to know what the heck they are. So anyway, my point is that I don't necessarily want the brand to be me, and I really didn't want that with TrafficForMe. I spent a lot of years as a internet marketing guru, and all that is me to do a launch all of the time. Whereas TrafficForMe became, which I wanted it to, its own brand, its own thing. It doesn't require me. If I want to sell it one day, I can sell it one day. If anyone wants to buy it, bidding starts at $1 million. I don't know. I don't know what the actual value is. I enjoy the company right now, so I'm not really selling. But anyway, but I'm able to because my name isn't the business, So, but I think that there's benefit to that. I think that there has been disadvantage to me not associating my name as much with it. For a number of years, we had a cute little robot that was our mascot, and we eventually took that off because people
kept asking if we were sending bot traffic.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much bot traffic now that people thought that we were like that our little
advertising
robot,
it with our logo,
that we were like, yeah, which is ridiculous because we were like the first company to do the opposite, which is block all bots from email traffic. So it's like, okay, but they're like, yeah, are you just doing that? I mean, people actually, people used to be skeptical 8 or 9 years ago. I don't want to get into politics, but something happened in the last 5 years that have made people way more skeptical. Many things have happened between politics and between the pandemic where we're more skeptical, and they're like, well, wait, isn't that a trick? Aren't you just maybe you're saying that you don't do bots and you're saying that you do with your robot mascot. So we took the mascot down, and now here I am. I'm a human. I'm not a robot, and we sell real traffic. But anyway, we wanted these Facebook Lives to be you know, no longer than 25, 30 minutes, and maybe, you know, 50, 20, which we're at that right now. Have we given enough value?
I think we've
'Cause
helped
I
enough
wanna,
that we can sign off. It's okay.
okay. Did anybody show up?
No, and that's okay too.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What am
Well,
I
we didn't
gonna
tell
do?
them to show up, so we can't get too disappointed.
I'm
Um,
disappointed. I guess
so
we can send people this link to check it out later, right? So after
sure.
let's leave the link
Well,
up
and we can
and say,
share it
hey,
ourselves, put it out in the world, and let people see it. So
I thought I had enough reach and credibility that, no, I'm just kidding. I did not think that. I'm actually not sad that, I'm not surprised that nobody showed up. We did it with no warning
we
whatsoever.
did have, I believe we had one person pop in for a moment, and that they maybe had to use the restroom. So it's just you and me now. But anyway, we're going to do this again next week. So if you'd like to ask us
Well,
questions, we will spend a moment or two answering any questions. And I have no idea what we're going to talk about next week, because we'll probably decide right before.
maybe,
Actually,
or maybe someone will comment. We'll take a look at the comments here in the next few days, and maybe someone will give us an idea that they want us to talk about, or that'll give us, you know, an idea to talk about something. I was going to say, whoever it was that came and left, am I allowed to curse, or no? I can't say F that guy. I mean, come on, you couldn't stick around for 5 minutes. Anyway, maybe they just thought it was just two guys talking, and maybe it was just two guys talking, two bald guys talking.
it is what it is, right?
But hope. Well, I don't know. I do still want to know, like, what other because I think I cut you off before we go. What value do you feel that a TED Talk, and I guess you were saying, or getting on the local news? So
Well, and
getting on the local
again,
news,
so the value varies based on who you serve. So who you serve dictates who you would want to interact with. So for us, for me, getting on a TED Talk, it's still an authority booster, and it's good for all of the stuff that you and I are working on. So would it be viable for me? Totally. There was that business that I mentioned that I've had in the back of my head for years. If I ever actually launched that business, it would then become viable for me to do things like getting on the local news, doing networking stuff locally, talking about how my business helps that kind, you know, local companies do X.
right?
Today, that company doesn't exist. So I would not pursue that. And even if a local reporter said, hey, Mr. Goldberg, we know you're a digital marketing expert, we'd love to have you on, I would specifically tell them, that sounds wonderful. No. Right now, there's nothing in it for me. I'm busy. So
do people still watch TV?
I do.
Like local,
but many people do not. I don't think it's as standard as it used to be.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on a local TV show here. Nobody's ever said that they saw it. I mean, it's an English speaking show in Spain, in Barcelona, but I get great video from it, you know.
And again, same as Ted, you've been on TV, so there's more authority boosting there, and there's value there. I've been on stage in front of 1,000 different people, and got to teach those people something, and I can't tell you
the
how
way you just said it.
Felt.
The way you just said it was like you've been on stage in front of 1,000 people, different people, which made it sound like
one at a time.
No. It actually sounded like maybe you did it 4 times for 250 people. What you meant was you've been on stage for 1,000 people multiple times.
And let's be real, generally when I spoke in front of an audience, I'd say 10 to 20 was the average room size. But speaking in front of 1,000 was incredible. I was actually referencing 1,000 at one time.
Right. I was it the event that I hosted?
No, that was my event. That was my seminar, and that was a little over 100.
Okay, I was going to say 300, but my memory is. But you had who's the Brian Tracy, or no, the other one? Didn't you have what? No, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul?
That was not my event. That was someone else's that we were at.
Oh, so maybe there was
Mark Victor Hansen.
People.
That wasn't mine.
Mark Victor Hansen. I think I introduced him, and I think I jumped off the stage when I introduced.
I may be wrong. Mark Victor Hansen might have spoken at my Vegas event. It was so long ago, bro. We're talking 15 years.
Yeah, I know Cindy Donovan was there because she had just started out. and I know Simone was there.
Yes.
But anyway, my point is that I learned something. I screwed up with, it was either Mark Victor Hansen or another one of the older guys, and I introduced them, and they were standing in the back of the audience instead of the back of the stage. And instead of waiting for them to get on stage, I said, "Everybody, Mark Victor Hansen." And of course, I wasn't holding the microphone this close. It was Mark Victor Hansen. And then I jumped off the stage, and now it's an empty stage while everybody watched this old guy walk as slow as possible to get back on stage. And he came up to me later and said, very politely, "Hey, just so you know, in the future, if you introduce somebody, you want to wait on stage until they get up there." I was like, "I am so sorry." So, and I do a lot of hosting work now, and I
Don't jump off the
I know
stage.
they're three steps from the stages. They're tiny stages though, for my stand-up comedy magic stuff. So that's it. That's it. We did our first one. We said we would start doing it. We're doing it, and we're also going to start doing some sort of content. Let's talk real quick about that offline.
Yes. Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.